Good morning and happy hump day. Again, you're going to have to bear with me today. I'm going to milk this allergy problem I'm having to the hilt. I was really patting myself on the back because I mowed part of the yard. Mermaid said it started early today. Yes. Reason being is because a friend of ours is visiting from out of town. Her name's Gina, and she's got to run an errand. Then she'll be back, and we've got some stuff planned this afternoon. So anyway, I'm starting it early. And that's okay. This is a new case for us, and I'm all in. I don't expect it to be a big case considering everything that's going on the YouTube streets with Sebastian and other cases. Either way, I'm all in because two grown women in the middle of nowhere, Bumblefuck, Oklahoma, don't just disappear. It doesn't work that way at all. But who did I miss in the pre-party? I certainly can't miss Canvas and Crime because she's making it rain. I did see a comment in earlier wanting to know how you get the gifts. You just hit allow gifts and they should pop up. So if you received a membership from Canvas and Crime, please tell her thank you. It looks like Lucy J, Twin Thing, Sniper, Amanda Z, Ashley Camper, Ugly Duckling. Well, you're not an ugly duckling. One Love, Mustang Mama, CB. Woo! Got a lot going on today. We've missed you too, Canvas and Crime. Got to play the music. Always looking for an excuse to play the music. I'm starting to agree with Rexy. She goes, I keep telling y'all it's UFO abductions. Where can these people go? And in this case, it's not a child. Not that it's not a huge deal that a child disappears. These are two grown women. Two grown women that were on a mission. Let me put it that way. They were on a mission. They were en route. It's Easter weekend, so already we've got a holiday going on. It was reported that it was one of Veronica's children's birthday. They barely make it into the panhandle of Oklahoma, or as you've heard me call it, the devil's left armpit, and they're gone. Lots of rumors about how the blue Kia was left. Is there blood really in it as rumored? I don't know. They don't let me look at it. Were the windows smashed out? I don't know. But these are easy questions to answer. And for some reason, the OSBI is leaving that one alone. What I have come across, besides the fact that it makes zero sense, actually, many things don't make sense. What I have come across is there has been a grueling custody battle between Walker and Veronica. How the preacher's wife, Jillian Kelley, got involved in all this because she's basically just an acquaintance and went with Veronica for protection. I bet she's rethinking that trip. Teresa, thank you for the super sticker. Me love you long time. Thank you so much. And you know what today is. Today is hump day. We got to play it.
Oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
It's hump day. Guess who's got his pink on today? His godmother, Kat, made this for him. Check it out. Not only do we wear pink on Wednesdays, so does OJ.
On Wednesdays, we wear pink. No. Not really my sort of thing.
There's OJ. Gotta play it. Gotta play it. All right. In my uneducated opinion, this on the screen is what I think's going on. Period. Now, ignore the sunshines on the children's faces. I don't think we need to be blasting their beautiful faces around. They are not missing. Veronica is. That is Veronica and her ex, Wrangler Cole Rickman. Sounds like the name of a cowboy boot. I keep calling him Walker. Wrangler Cole Rickman. Had he rethought his choices, he could have opened up a Western store anywhere in Oklahoma and made a mint just with his name. Rumor has it that he is in a Salvation Army rehab right now, and not for a bad back. They don't exactly keep you under lock and key. Welcome back, rapper. Glad you're here. He can walk out at any time, but where was he on Easter weekend? I understand that his mother had custody of their two children, and she's a real Ma Barker. She has had a lot of issues with Veronica. Now, in this one, the only speculation is who done it and why. Reason is because the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation were brought in real quick, which is good because that tells me that law enforcement, they know when they're outgunned, if you know what I mean. And more of them should do it. When they have something they've never come across, please don't try to play Columbo. This isn't the time to polish up your hours. Call in the big boys. Not only is OSBI and FBI involved, FBI, let me put it this way. In Oklahoma, FBI almost always gets involved because there are so many Indian territories. I heard on my local news last night, Gina and I were watching the news before we watched a Denzel movie, because my friend Gina is a huge Denzel Washington fan, that they said that also the tribal police are involved. Well, I wasn't shocked by that at all. Some people want to know how far this disappearance is from Tulsa. I'm going to tell you right now because it happened outside of Guymon, Oklahoma. It's about 5 hours. And they seem to be basing a lot of stuff out of Tulsa, and I don't get that. I would assume that they would set up shop in like Woodward, Oklahoma, or OKC, but it is what it is. Thank you, Vicky B. She said, best channel on the YouTube streets. Well, we try, don't we? We're all friends here. Let's go through some of your comments. And as we pour through this, and this won't be our only show, I have a feeling it's not going to be the only one. You tell me what you think. Okay, we had many comments saying I'm praying for a good outcome. Yeah, me too, but no one, and I mean no one, is just going to stop their car out in the panhandle of Oklahoma and decide to start walking around. So this is bad. Web Weaver said, this is extremely odd. Hope to see you cover this. Well, I am. Joy Callie said that this is a really strange one. Oh, you bet it is. Astro from Space said, I believe they have been trafficked. We do have some people that are coming into the country that are making their way through Western Texas into the Texas Panhandle, up into the Oklahoma Panhandle, that aren't here for the right reasons. So I wouldn't be shocked. You come across two women that seem like they may or may not know exactly where they're going. They obviously didn't want the car because the car was left. Women were not. Turkey Creek Gal said, there's not many people up in that area. You might drive for an hour and never see a car. For real. You might drive for an hour before you see any civilization whatsoever. You might drive for an hour before you get a radio signal. I know a lot of people are saying, well, why didn't they call for help? I'm going to bet you $1 to a donut. They didn't have any signal. As from Arkansas, that's the name, said this sounds just like Don and Candace Wells. Now, I'm not quite understanding that comparison. And I'm not being shitty here, but not every case can be compared to Don and Candace. You see, this looks like a true abduction. And basically, these two women were hijacked. If they were carrying, they didn't have time to point and shoot. Okay? They were out muscled and out pew-pewed, is what it seems like to me. Question is why? Was Wrangler in rehab Easter weekend, or did he get out? It would make sense to me that he checked out for the weekend to see his kids, spend Easter with them, celebrate a birthday. Is this about custody, or is it truly random? I don't know. Again, Jillian Kelley was really just a church acquaintance of Veronica's, and how she got sucked into this, I'll never know. I love you guys to death, but if you need me to go on a road trip with you to the panhandle of Oklahoma because you need protection, I'm afraid I'm going to have to tell you no. As much as I love you, I have to say no. All right, so Veronica and Jillian were headed to pick up Veronica's children from her ex-mother-in-law. Now, Wrangler and Veronica had never been married. Their custody dispute has been going on for years, and it is contentious. I would love to know, I could probably guess, who is paying for Wrangler's attorney, because they have taken this custody dispute to the Supreme Court of the state of Oklahoma. So while he's in the rehab at the Salvation Army, his mama, Wrangler's mama, has been watching the kids. She wants Veronica so out of this picture, just gonna say it, this wouldn't surprise me, this disappearance. Because nobody, in my opinion, was after Jillian. Okay, Veronica was required to have supervised visits because of an issue of abuse. And she let some people in her family, from what I'm understanding, around the children that shouldn't have been around them. Jillian is a pastor's wife. She went along for protection and to supervise this visit. So now we come to Oklahoma Highway 95, outside of Guyman, Oklahoma. It's in Eva, Oklahoma, Texas County. The car's been abandoned. There are several posts saying that the windows were busted out and blood was visible. I have no confirmation of that, and I mean none, but I'm not going to doubt it because the plot is thick. The plot is thick. Jillian had no intentions on staying for the weekend. It was basically going to be a visit and a turnaround. Because as you can see, she was hosting an Easter breakfast at the Hugoton First Christian Church in Hugoton, Kansas. Join us for breakfast at 9:30 a.m. and for our worship service at 10:30 a.m. Resurrection Sunday. Preacher's wife is not going to miss Easter Sunday at her husband's church for nothing. Not for Veronica, not for the kids, but somebody prevented her getting back home. She's got a beautiful family. Beautiful family. Whew. There's a lot going on, my friends. There is a lot going on. Let's look at one of these news clips, and we are going to start dissecting this as much as we can from our bird's eye view.
Urgent search this evening for two mothers who are missing, one of them a pastor's wife. They vanished on the way to pick up one of the mother's children. The car they were in has been found in Oklahoma. Here's ABC's Victor Kendo.
Tonight, the urgent search along the Kansas-Oklahoma border for two missing mothers who vanished the day before Easter while driving to pick up children.
They're gone. And nobody knows where they exactly went.
39-year-old Jillian.
Okay, this is the guy from the OSBI. He's been all over our local news. They're gone. No one knows where they went. Poof, vanished. It's not like they pulled over to pee. And let's say Veronica got out. And she got attacked by a coyote, or she stepped on a rattlesnake. That didn't happen. They're both gone. I do believe the rumors. I do believe the rumors that those windows were busted out and there was probably a little bit of blood in there, or a lot. Thing is, we know the car was abandoned. Where are Veronica and Jillian? This is not the way to get custody if that's what's going on. And I have never seen this dude before. And OSBI is on our local channels all the time. He looks like Colin Farrell to me. Does he resemble Colin Farrell to any of you guys? Maybe it's just me.
And nobody knows where they exactly went.
39-year-old Jillian Kelley, the wife of a pastor at First Christian Church in Hugoton, Kansas, was traveling with 27-year-old Veronica Butler. According to Butler's church, the two women were on their way to get Butler's children for a birthday party, but they never made the pickup.
It appears that this was not a willing incident on their own to have taken.
No, it wasn't willing. And we know how it goes in these cases. We talk amongst ourselves. We throw out theories. The lesbian theory, that bucket's not holding any water for me. It's just not. Because like I said, we have Easter weekend. Confirmed they're really just acquaintances. She's doing a good deed. And we've talked about good deeds. A fatal paper cup said, what are hey dudes? They're shoes. I didn't know what they were either until my son's ex-girlfriend asked for some for Christmas. She got her new hey dudes and then they broke up. I'm telling you, they're not cheap either. So anyway, hey dudes are shoes. So I don't buy that they were in some sort of affair or anything. I just think some people are reaching on that. And that's all I'm going to say about that. It's a sticky enough situation without throwing in some sort of, weird church scissoring in the Sunday school room thing. You know what I mean? We don't really need all that nastiness. Okay, so put that to the side here. Because there was plans about. We had a birthday party. We had Easter. We had to get back to the Christian church to have Resurrection Sunday. Hippie said, Brooks Houck, I'm thinking about Fat Neck as well. I'm also thinking about Pikeston, Ohio, where the whole family was in on it. And it was all about custody.
It was not a willing incident on their own to have taken off. It looks to be that there's something more involved.
Butler's blue Kia found abandoned on the side of the road about 40 miles away in rural Texas County, Oklahoma.
There's every reason to believe that they could be in danger.
At an Easter
No shit. Just the minute I heard the area. Yeah, they're in danger. Is Lisa Wilson in here? Slim, I'm sure you've been through the panhandle before of Oklahoma. Lisa, would you drive through the panhandle and stop for anybody? Just a question, because I wouldn't. I don't care if Jesus came across the road and he's robing across. I'd be like, move around. No. Hell no. Yeah, they're in danger for sure.
Oklahoma.
There's every reason to believe that they could be in danger.
At an Easter service, prayers for their safe return.
We're going to wrap our arms around the Kelley family. We're going to love them. Lord, we lift up Jillian. We lift up Veronica. We pray for their safety.
The pastor at Butler's church describes the women more like acquaintances than friends. Tonight, their community will gather for a vigil. David?
Victor at Kendo tonight. Victor, thank you.
They're making that real clear. They are just acquaintances. This was Jillian being the good pastor's wife saying, I don't want you to go by yourself. I'm going to go with you to make sure nothing happens. I'm actually going to take on the duty of supervising the visit. She was just trying to help. Lucky Shot said, I've never heard of the panhandle. Well, let me show you. This is a little clip I like to call Today in Oklahoma. You will see a picture of the state. And the thing that sticks out to the side, it looks like you're holding a pan. So you see where that piece of property jets out? That's called the panhandle. Little Bit said, Brooks, are you in Oklahoma? Yes, ma'am. Born and raised. Born and raised. All right, I got to get my Dollar Tree specs on that Court K got me for my birthday. This is from Riveting Real Life. She's had a lot to say. And I'm not a TikTok follower, so I just grab what I can. Hang on. 2 Boston moms said I'm behind, but did Wrangler go to rehab before or after they went missing? Before. However, it's not like a, trying to find a nice way to say it. It's not like a straitjacket type of thing where he can't get out. It's not like he's under lock and key. So for like a weekend, like Easter weekend and a birthday, he could check out for the weekend, and then go back. So I do not have any verification that he was at the Salvation Army rehab the weekend they went missing or the day they went missing. Okay, it says, in contrast, the evidence at trial and in the record in this appeal showed Veronica to be unstable, irresponsible, dishonest, and neglectful of the children's welfare. By her own admission, she defrauded the state of Kansas out of state benefits, and she ignored and disregarded court orders. She admitted to making multiple, ultimately unsubstantiated allegations to the Department of Human Services in Oklahoma of alleged abuse to the children by Wrangler. She admitted to being fired from a job for unreliability and to having walked off another job. She admitted to attempting to deceive the court to try to influence the court's decision. She admitted to her multiple relocations. You see, when you have joint custody, change of address, job, and phone number needs to be reported. You see, old boy and old girl needs to know where the kiddies are going. They need to know. So if you're moving from place to place to place to place, you need to let them know. They have every right to know where their children are going for the weekend or the Wednesday afternoon visit. I don't know. And please do not think that any of this is me saying she got what she deserved or anything like that, because no. She admitted to her multiple relocations. She admitted to not seeking any medical treatment for CR, which is one of their children, when he was bitten by a dog, or even bothering to verify if the dog had its shots. She admitted to leaving the children in the care of their great-grandmother, who was either incapable of or unwilling to adequately supervise them around her turkeys to prevent injuries to the children. Anybody in here ever come across a turkey? Ever been pecked by a turkey or bit by one? That shit hurts. We had a turkey out at my pawpaw's place, Pawpaw and Granny. Its name was Tom Turkey. That was the meanest turkey. That thing was mean. Okay, back. Sorry about that. For some reason, I guess the house is haunted because the TV in our bedroom just came on. Yeah, turkeys are mean. So great grandma was watching the kids around these turkeys unsupervised. Okay? Yeah, roosters are mean too. Again, she admitted to leaving the children in the care of their great-grandmother, who was either incapable of or unwilling to adequately supervise them around the turkeys to prevent injuries to the children. This is after one of the children was bit by a damn dog too. There's 2 children. On the record, the district court's award of sole custody of the minor children to Veronica was an abuse of discretion. We heard that term in the case of Harmony Montgomery. Abuse of discretion, meaning you didn't consider the turkeys, the dog, the many jobs, all the relocation. Wherefore, premises considered the plaintiff appellate, which is Wrangler, who's in the Salvation Army rehab, respectfully request the court to reverse the custody and visitation order of the district court and render the decree that should have been rendered. There's a lot going on here. This custody battle has been going on and going on and going on. Here is just one little snippet of it, okay? Oklahoma State Courts Network, Wrangler Cole, plaintiff appellate, because he appealed this decision. It went all the way to the Oklahoma State Supreme Court. Defendant, Veronica Claire Butler. Now, let's look at all this. This is a lot of documents hearings, discovery, responses to petitions. I haven't been able to go through I'd say 2% of this. This is a lot of custody bickering. And I mean a lot. We're going to come back to this because this part's really important. Really important. All right, this was on News Nation last night. Jennifer Coffindaffer did not weigh in on it, but drum roll please. In her retired FBI experience, she thinks that something doesn't look right and there's possible foul play here. Wow. Without her, how would we get through these cases, my friends? What would we do without Jennifer Coffindaffer? Oh my gosh. I'm so glad she weighed in.
All right, here at News Nation, we've covered plenty of missing persons cases. Enough to know that when people vanish, they rarely do so 2 at a time while on their way to pick up the kids. Yet that's just what appears to have happened to 2 moms in Oklahoma this past weekend, leaving behind one abandoned car and
Okay. You see that picture on the screen? That's about what it looks like out there. I'm surprised that there's even a house on the other side of the highway. I mean, there's nothing out there. Nothing. Nothing. And some of those towns, they smell like pig guts, all right? Because they have all those pig factories. You know, where they process the hams and the bacon and everything. There's nothing out there.
a slew of unanswered questions and a terrified community. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation hasn't released many details, but this much we do know. 27-year-old Veronica Butler and 39-year-old Jillian Kelley were traveling together to pick up children, and they never made it to the pickup location. Authorities say the car they were driving was found on the side of a rural road between Patrol have called both women. Now live from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Brooke, what are you learning about this mysterious case?
Again, I don't know why this woman is reporting from Tulsa, because Tulsa is about 5.5 hours from where the car was abandoned.
Elizabeth, still so many questions surrounding the disappearance of these two moms. Like you said, we know that Veronica and Jillian were in a car. They were leaving Kansas, driving to rural Eva, Oklahoma to pick up children over the weekend when they seemingly vanished. Authorities found the car they were in abandoned near the highway. Today, a school not far from where these women were headed put on lockdown. The superintendent telling parents there are still so many unanswered questions, and for that reason, students today were kept indoors, doors stayed locked, and extra security was called in. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation and local authorities today working to find these moms, now missing since Saturday, calling their disappearance suspicious.
As of right now, as the investigation continued, when we were requested, we are unsure where these women are or what happened to them. That unknown is what has created it suspicious for us at this time.
No shit. And the guy that looks like Colin Farrell from the OSBI, he didn't even know at that time about the dog bite and the turkeys. He didn't even know about all that mess yet. No. I have covering crime in Oklahoma because, well, I know too much about these damn people. Lisa Wilson knows what I'm talking about. Okie Teresa knows what I'm talking about. Hell, Mama Kay in Fort Smith, Arkansas knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's suspicious. Now, the thing is, I know a lot of people are saying it had to have been a surprise to have Jillian in the car with her. No, that was not a surprise. They already knew Veronica had to have supervised visitation, and it had to be an unbiased supervisor, as in it can't be Wrangler the Dangler, can't be Ma Barker. It has to be someone unbiased. So they knew she was coming with someone.
We were requested, we are unsure where these women are or what happened to them. That unknown is what has created it suspicious for us at this time.
Hang on. Good Grandma said it's kind of rude that no one comes out here, but the closest place to stay would be Guyman. And the motels are Ma and Pop, so that's sad. It's a flyover. Do you guys still have that Eddie Steakhouse out there in Guyman? Because I'm telling you right now, that place is really good. I would make a drive out there just for Eddie Steakhouse. Anyone know if you still have an Eddie Steakhouse?
Since Saturday, calling their disappearance suspicious.
As of right now, as the investigation continued, we were requested, we are unsure where these women are or what happened to them. That unknown is what has created it suspicious for us at this time.
And today, we don't know how authorities found that car abandoned on the side of the road, what state it was in. We asked investigators if these women left any belongings behind. Was there blood? Were the windows smashed? So far, officials unable to answer our questions about that, as family and friends of these two women, of course, desperate to get them back home.
Yeah, they won't answer those specifics. Okay, Good Grandma said Guyman has a lot. Yep, it's still there. Okay, I love that steakhouse. Mark Inger said, I wish they would tell us what was left in the car. Did they take their purses? All I have is rumors. And the rumors are windows busted out, blood in the car, cell phone on the floor. Whose, I don't know. And personal belongings still in the car. So purses, overnight clothing, whatever. If that's not suspicious, I don't know what is. Question is, what made them stop? There's no flat tire. It's a little blue Kia. I don't think anyone can hide in the back. They would notice. What made them stop? Who headed them off and got them to stop? Somebody knew what they were going to be driving.
Elizabeth?
Wow, Brooke, a whole school put under lockdown as the search goes on for those two moms. Thanks so much, Brooke Schaefer, reporting live from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Thanks.
Sparrow has a theory. Sparrow said someone blocked the road or faked needing assistance. It being the preacher's wife, I could see her stopping to help a random stranger. But then on the other hand, I can't, because like I said, they were under a timeline. They knew what time they had to be there. I don't know. It's just nuts. Okay, here is part, and I mean part because like I said, this isn't going to be the only day we talk about this case. This is part of the 27-page court document having to do with the custody dispute between Veronica and Dangler. The district court in this case decided which of two young unmarried parents should have primary custody of the parties' young children. and the visitation that would be awarded. The non-custodial parent. The district court awarded custody to the defendant, which is Veronica. Despite undisputed evidence that she had filed numerous unsubstantiated neglect and abuse charges against Wrangler, she requested unnecessary law enforcement standbys for visitation exchanges. Police don't like that. You're going to trade the kids off at the Brahms, the Walmart, the Quick Trip. They don't want you calling the police to watch you take kids out of one car seat and put them in another. It's not healthy for the kids. This is sad for the kids. Very sad. On top of what happened over Easter weekend. She attempted to thwart Wrangler's relationship with the children by relocating multiple times without notice to Wrangler. Her employment history demonstrated her to be unreliable, irresponsible, and when she was working, her schedule required that the children be looked after by third-party caregivers, and there was undisputed evidence of neglect of the children resulting in physical harm to them. So that could be the turkeys, that could be the dog bites, I don't know. It says, in contrast, Wrangler, who was denied his request for primary custody, according to undisputed evidence, actively worked to try to effectively co-parent with Veronica, has matured into a responsible father who provided excellent care for and supervision of the children, held a steady job with flexible hours that allowed him to maximize his time with the children. Wrangler had also enjoyed 50% physical custody of his children pursuant to an agreed temporary order since the summer of 2019. Woo! 27 pages. The first child was born in December of 2015, a son. Their daughter was born in April of 2018. Wrangler and Veronica were never married. Now, from what I'm gathering from the court records, she had been married before. That's all right. 2019 is when Wrangler filed his petition for paternity, custody, and visitation and application for temporary orders. So he sought a judicial determination of his paternity, which he knew. Maury said, they're yours. Temporary orders were granted, and it seems like, from what I'm reading in the court dockets, that one was playing by the rules and the other one wasn't. There's a lot going on here. Mermaid said, and she's married now to a new guy? I don't think so. I don't think so. And there's domestic violence. There's rugs, if you know what I mean. YouTube doesn't like it when I say drugs. There's a lot going on between these two. There's a lot. Then you pull in the poor preacher's wife. And look. This is from a channel called Blue Line Crimes. They did an amazing job putting this together. I'm going to put the link up so you can subscribe to this channel. I like to give credit where credit's due.
Hey YouTube, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on a very recent missing persons case, the disappearance of Jillian Kelley and Veronica Butler. This case is now starting to get national attention, as two women went missing along a secluded stretch of road in Oklahoma's Panhandle. Investigators are being very tight with the details, but rumors are starting to fly around. I just wanted to lay out what little has been confirmed about this investigation and go through the rumors while I offer my own insights and opinions on the case. For those who don't know me, my name is Blue, and I'm a police officer in Florida with 10 years of experience. We do all things true crime on this channel, so if that's your thing, go ahead and consider subscribing.
Okay, fine. We got that part. Busy Mom said, well, Wrangler was/is in rehab. Poor kids. Yep. And, you know, Veronica and Wrangler weren't, you know, shy to date multiple people, whether they're together or not. I mean, those two fought like two cats in a pillowcase. There's a lot going on here. OJ, you've had breakfast. There's no reason for you to be up here. And as we've seen it before, in the eye of the storm is the children. Every time. Every time.
I post at least once a week. And as a reminder, these are just my opinions, based on my own experience in the field, and not the opinions of any department or organization. With all that said, let's get into today's case. So this all began when Veronica Butler traveled with her friend Jillian Kelley to see her children. Jillian and Veronica left Hugoton, Kansas on Saturday, March 30th, sometime in the morning. Their vehicle would ultimately be found in Texas County, Oklahoma, just over the state line. Those familiar with the area talk about how isolated it is, often with long stretches of wilderness, with no one around. Their vehicle was found abandoned.
No one around is an understatement. I don't know how to make it more clear. No one, and you're around nothing. In this case, I'm not exaggerating. You better have a full tank of gas, and you better know where you're going, because there's nothing out there. I mean, there's nothing. You're lucky to get utilities. And when I mean utilities, I don't mean Wi-Fi. I don't mean Cox cable to watch the Mike Tyson fight. I mean water. I mean electricity. There's a lot of people who don't even have utilities. Well, Sleuth knows. She goes, I'm in the Texas Panhandle, and there ain't a damn thing out there. Nothing. You better know north, south, east, west, and have a paper map. Now, very interesting. Very interesting. By the way, I love Amarillo. I love Amarillo. They were only about 6 miles from their destination. So what would make them stop? What would make them stop? They had plans. Plans to see the kids, Easter weekend, had to be back at church, birthday going on. What would make them stop?
Abandoned on the side of the road, but there are conflicting reports about the vehicle's condition, which we'll get into shortly. Now, the Texas County Sheriff's Office would respond, and after determining the disappearance was suspicious, they made the decision to contact the Oklahoma Bureau of Investigation for assistance. If I had to guess, this was likely because the Sheriff's Office decided they did not have the resources in order to investigate it. This is a great thing, actually, as instead of pretending that they had the situation under control and refusing to accept help from the outside, they proactively knew their limits and asked for additional resources. Now, let's try to get a bit more detailed. From what I've gathered online, Veronica is only allowed supervised visitation. There is a court case that I'll show briefly on the screen here, dating back all the way to February of 2019. The father, Wrangler Cole Rickman, filed in court for custody of their children, a battle that appears to still be ongoing. Whatever happened in the course of this battle?
I'm glad he's phrasing it that way. And no, Guyman is quite a ways away from Amarillo, Texas. Eva, Texas is quite a ways away. Eva, Oklahoma. And I'm glad he's phrasing it this way. This is not just your run-of-the-mill garden variety, who gets junior on what weekend? How are we going to split up holidays? This was a battle. Somebody had money for an attorney for everything that had been filed on Dangler's behalf.
The decision was apparently made to keep the children in the custody of Rickman's parents. On the 18th and 20th of March this year, Veronica filed motions to increase her visitation with her minor children. I think we can assume this was allowed by the courts, as just a week or so later, Veronica went with her friend Jillian, who was a pastor's wife, to conduct a supervised visit. Now, the father, Rickman, was supposedly in jail for a charge of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, as shown here.
I love that shit, I'm telling you. Good grandma has a thought. She said Wrangler's mama. I hear she's a real Ma Barker. Rumor only. Ma Rickman had money. Big farm. Lots of pigs. Lots of cotton. And I don't mean that scrubby cotton. I mean high cotton, from what I'm understanding. But you gotta love it. I don't know what it is with these felons. They're told, no pew-pew for you. And what's one of the first things they do? Get a pew-pew. LaSleuth said his first name is Wrangler. Yep, Wrangler Cole. Wrangler Cole. There he is right there. Wrangler Cole Rickman.
I'm going to put some paperwork up on the screen. This is dated March 25th of this year, and it was a petition for Rickman to be released from jail on a personal recognizance bond, which means that instead of posting a cash bond, court allows you to walk out of jail for free with the.
Okay, so he got out of jail, or it was filed, on March 25th. Part of the ROR, recognizance, was for him to go to this rehab, the Salvation Army. Now, I don't know if the Salvation Army was in Cimarron County, Texas County, Oklahoma County, or if they trekked his ass back over to Tulsa. I don't know. But that's part of his condition for getting out on his own recognizance. Stephanie probably said, print out the directions online from MapQuest, LOL. I used to do that. If kids only knew. If they only knew what we had to go through before.
Promise that you return on your court date. In this case, Rickman agreed to turn himself into the Salvation Army's inpatient treatment center for treatment before returning to the court. Now, there are many reports and allegations that Rickman is involved in both women's disappearance due to his criminal record and the lengthy ongoing child custody case. This may or may not be true, but I do think it's likely. However, we cannot drag someone's name through the mud who has not even been mentioned by investigators at this time. Anything I do say about his involvement will simply be me playing devil's advocate, which we'll do in a little bit. Now on to the car. The car that Veronica and Jillian were traveling in was a blue Kia, which was found abandoned on the side of Oklahoma State Road 95. Now, police have not released anything about the condition of the car or anything unusual noticed, at least not in any official sources that I've read. That being said, there have been a lot of people online claiming that at least one window was smashed, and there was blood in the car, as well as a bloody hammer left on scene. I cannot verify this, as this information has not been released, so we'll just have to continue thinking it's a rumor for now.
Okay, I don't want to be too grim here, but yes, there is a rumor that a cell phone was in the floorboard, purses were left behind, and that a bloody hammer was found. Well, that explains the smashed out windows, but we have two grown women. Veronica, 27. Jillian, 39. Who knew Veronica was coming into Oklahoma to see the kids? Did Wrangler know? Was he in communication with her from the Salvation Army rehab? Or was this arrangement made between Veronica and Dangler's mama? There is a lot going on here, and it's turning my stomach, especially Lisa can tell you. Good grandma can back me up. There are wild hogs out there that would eat a horse. Y'all don't know, I'm telling you. There are wild hogs out there that would eat a damn elephant if they could.
But what could have happened? What did investigators see on scene that led them to very reasonably believe these women are in danger? Well, let's take a look at a couple of things that investigators will consider when evaluating if someone is endangered or not as a missing person. So 1, both women are apparently healthy and happy, with no indications of running away or other mental health issues such as depression or having a suicidal ideation. 2, the car was found in a very secluded place, not hidden well in a wooded area or pushed into a canal, but just left in a secluded place on the side of the road. There may or may not have been damage or blood on scene. 3, Veronica was on the way to see her children. She is in the middle of a 5-year-long custody dispute with her ex. Veronica's ex is a convicted felon who, days before the woman's disappearance, was released on a personal recognizance bond. It is unknown at this time if he is in a rehab facility or not, or if he was during the time frame the woman went missing. Again, we just don't have that information. 5, neither woman ever made it to the child visitation. Remember, this is a visitation that Veronica appeared to have been fighting for a long time in court. There would have to be a pretty good reason she did not show up for this. And 6, neither woman has been seen or heard from since. That's very telling and worrying for both families. As you can see, the totality of the circumstances here we've listed above, even without blood or damage to the car, as is rumored, is enough that these women met the criteria to be considered as missing endangered persons. That designation allows for more resources to be used and more agencies to assist in the search. Now, multiple agencies are involved, but think of how much ground there is to cover. These women could have been missing for hours before they were reported, and their car alone was found 45 miles away from their house, and I'm not sure how many miles away from the house with the children. I would imagine that police are waiting for any and all cell phone records, hoping to get a better idea and timeline with pings taken from nearby cell towers. So what's reasonable?
This guy doesn't quite understand what he's talking about. No. There's not going to be any nearby cell towers to get pings from. Okay? And if they ran into such problems, unless we're talking 4 flat tires, they could have gone back the other way to civilization. This isn't going to be one that we're going to have to hear a lot about cell phone towers. I just have a feeling.
Heard from since. That's very telling and worrying for both families. As you can see, the totality of the circumstances here we've listed above, even without blood or damage to the car, as is rumored, is enough that these women met the criteria to be considered as missing endangered persons. That designation allows for more resources to be used and more agencies to assist in the search. Now, multiple agencies are involved, but think of how much ground there is to cover. These women could have been missing for hours before they were reported, and their car alone was found 45 miles away from their house, and I'm not sure how many miles away from the house with the children. I would imagine that police are waiting for any and all cell phone records, hoping to get a better idea and timeline with pings taken from nearby cell towers. So what's reasonable? What could have happened? Assume for a minute that the car was found with no blood or broken windows. One theory that people have put forth is the car simply broke down or ran out of gas. This is possible, but there's too many loose ends, in my opinion, for this to be true. Firstly, police have not said the car broke down or ran out of gas. Also, why wouldn't the woman have called for help? And if the rumors of broken windows and a bloody hammer are true, then this theory is ruled out completely. So the question then becomes, was foul play involved? Based on what investigators have said, it seems that they definitely believe this to be the case. As we've said above, the theories about Veronica's ex are running rampant, but that's all going to depend on his alibi. For all we know, Rickman is in a rehab facility of some type even now. But if he was not on this day, he would be one of the first people I would want to talk to as an investigator. It would seem that these women were intercepted at some point along their drive, and I think most of us believe, as do the police, that they were taken against their will, by force. Another theory I've noticed, as a theme on several of my videos, is one that claims the women were walking, maybe because their car broke down, but for whatever reason, they were struck by a drunk driver, and either left...
No, he can give up on those theories. No. No. It'd be one thing for a driver in the middle of the afternoon to hit one of them, but not both without a trace. No, that doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I get the theories and I love them. Don't get me wrong. But I'm gonna bet you $1 to a donut there's no communication out there. I've been out there.
Left behind or hidden somewhere. This was offered as a theory in my videos on Riley Strain, Sebastian Rogers, and Caleb Harris. I can tell you from experience that this does happen, as I've handled numerous calls myself of hit-and-run fatalities. But I would say this is maybe the more unlikely theory. However, I can't rule it out. Again, we're just missing a lot of information from the police at this time. One big piece of evidence we should all be waiting for to be released is the phone pings, as well as the condition of the car and whether or not a bloody weapon was really left in it. Until then, we're all just waiting.
Well, if the bloody hammer is true, then it's certainly not a drunk driver. Okay? No. But there has to be another vehicle involved somewhere. There's not going to be cameras out there. My understanding is that the car was found abandoned and someone did drive up on it and realize that something didn't look right. You find abandoned cars all the time. They've run out of gas, blown out tire, stuff like that. You don't pay it any, never mind. They got it. They were driving with an expired tag and they tell them park it right there, go pay the DMV. You can go pick up your stuff. No one pays attention. But when you see it, would you go on, OJ? And they took off out into the, I'm going to say in quotes, wilderness. You wouldn't want to run across one of these.
Finding new ways to combat a decades-old problem in Oklahoma agriculture. Wild or feral hogs are causing between $190 to $260 million in damage to farm crops and land in Oklahoma every year. Now the state is taking part in a federal pilot program to try and control, if not eradicate, the problem. Reporter Steve Shaw hits the road for Pauls Valley to see the new technology in action.
It just seems like it just continues to get worse. There's no getting better with it because they multiply so fast.
Dakota Arthur is a third-generation dairy and real crop farmer on 2,500 acres just outside Pauls Valley.
It's something we got to start getting control of, to start getting some help.
Arthur says, on average, wild feral hogs rob him of at least 15% of his corn, wheat, soybean, and alfalfa crop each year. Feral hogs that easily grow to 300 to 400 pounds.
Try to have people come in with some dogs and maybe try to chase them somewhere else, or we've gone through and done walks of ourselves to the woods or go out late in the evenings to try to shoot them. But there's not a one-shot deal to be able to do everything that we need to do to get rid of them.
Good luck. You pop one of those, I don't care if you got an AR. Those bullets just pop, they just ricochet off of them. They can tear up a field. They can tear up a tree. They're worse than goats. They can damn sure tear up a person, and you're not even going to find a toenail.
Think of Oklahoma's feral hog problem as a runaway train.
Be a history of hogs being released and grazed in southeastern Oklahoma and really in the southern United States. And people would go back and gather them up to slaughter them or to sell them. But more recently, really what has happened is these hogs have reproduced in the wild. And they've really gone back to being more of a wild species.
State Conservation Commission Executive Director Trey Lamb is a fourth-generation farmer himself. 11 years ago, he lost his entire corn crop to feral hogs.
Problem is they're very destructive to agriculture, to natural resources, streams and ponds. They're also destructive to homes, parks, and they really love golf courses too. They can destroy a golf course very easily. They naturally get down and root in the soil.
Lamb says these hogs are also dangerous to livestock, pets, and people because of the diseases they carry.
Feral hogs reproduce very quickly. The females can have as many as 3 litters a year and up to 15 a pop.
They reach maturity very early. So one pair of hogs can produce multi-generations within a year, and it doesn't take very long for the numbers to grow exponentially.
That's about to change, sort of. Oklahoma is participating in a pilot project involving 9 other states and $75 million federal dollars.
Well, and like everything else, I hate to say it about my home state that they try, it didn't work. So you just got to cowboy it. You know, they got to freaking poison them. They got to do something. They're just nasty. Good eating, but they're nasty, man. So if they were running away from somebody and those hogs hunted them down, well, you can forget that. But I have a feeling there's a little more to it than that because there's too many irons in this fire.
And it doesn't sound like the belongings are still with the vehicle, but it doesn't sound like they know if the women have their belongings on them. In a social media post, a family member said that the last ping of Veronica's phone was where that car was. OSBI wouldn't confirm or deny that, but I wanted to know, was the car out of gas? Did it have tires that had been slashed? What would have caused these women to leave? And it doesn't seem like any of that was the case, because he said they were trying to figure out why they would have left the vehicle.
Very, very strange. Do we know, much more about these women? Were they longtime friends? There's a bit of an age difference. I think it's about 12 years between.
I can answer News Daddy. They're acquaintances. How they got hooked up in church, and she decided to go with her on this supervised visit to see the kids, Easter, birthday, what have you. I don't know. But the latest rumor, besides the hammer, is that their stuff's still in the car. Now, that's going to be suspicious, period. Let's say you're walking to get gas. You're going to have your purse with you. Yeah, I'm going to help you out here, News Daddy. And look, every time I pause, someone's got their O face on. Look at News Daddy and the chick next to him. Any of you ladies ever made that face when you're getting it given to you? Yeah. Kind of like, I better get a new kitchen out of this.
Between the two of them, what do we know about them and their relationship?
We don't know a ton. We do know that the Veronica and Jillian were friends. How good of friends they were is a little bit of a mystery as well. Determining what their relationship is something investigators are looking into. Is one of the first things they were trying to figure out. So we know they are friends. We know that Jillian, they're from the same area. They live in the same area. Jillian's husband is a preacher, and that she was helping Veronica with this ride to apparently go either visit her children or pick up her children. What they were doing there is unclear, but we know, Brian, that they did not get to their destination.
Do we know anything about their significant others, Caitlin?
It's interesting. That is one of the first questions I asked investigators, and they said that they're looking into, of course, everyone. They're looking into all of their friends and family, everyone who is close with them. But of course, I wanted to know, are you looking at significant others or perhaps exes? But we don't know anything about that other than the fact that Jillian's husband is a preacher. And so, of course, we know his name and who he is, and they're all sharing these missing persons flyers, trying to get more information about their whereabouts. But aside from that, who investigators are looking into, it seems like it's everyone at this moment.
Yeah, and that's typically the case. All
right, to give some contrast, little geography lesson. Okay, here's Oklahoma. Yeah, Brooks is going to grade your papers. We're going to take a test after this. All right, where it says Wichita, Dodge City, that's Kansas. Where it says Pueblo, that's Colorado. Where it says Amarillo, that's the panhandle of Texas. Now, it's not going to say much in the panhandle of Oklahoma because, well, there's not really much there. Okay, where you see that blue dot and it says Tulsa, that's where I am. I'm south of Tulsa. I didn't know Google would put a dot where I'm at right now. Come on, OJ, we're being tracked. Look at this. Wait till Emma sees this. She'll know exactly where I'm sitting. Wow, that's some scary shit. So that gives you a better idea of what we're looking at.
You know, you have to wonder. I was listening carefully to your interview with police. You have to wonder if they know more right now because they're really not sharing very much, and something does seem strange. The car, like, was it just abandoned? It was just basically abandoned on the side of the road. Is that?
That's
Is that
exactly
it?
right. It was abandoned on the side of the road. The state the car was in, we have no idea. I wanted to know, were the doors open? Was the car running? Did it have gas in it? He really couldn't tell me anything, but he did give me a little bit of information that we had not previously learned. We don't know the make or model of the car, but I was told that it was a small blue SUV. So they're looking for tips from anyone. So this is a really rural area. There is nothing around. They don't have surveillance footage, CCTV footage, eyewitnesses, neighbors, businesses, the things.
No, I've been screaming at my TV for 2 days. No, you're not going to have that stuff. You're not. It's like if I get on a Highway 67 right now and I head out to Mounds, Oklahoma, guess what you're going to have? Nothing. I'm not going to have a signal. Even Emma, with Crime Stories Obsessed, isn't going to be able to find my location. There's nothing there. I've been screaming at these people for 2 days. Like Lisa said, you're not going to get a signal.
That investigators usually rely on, they really don't have. So anyone in this area that saw a small blue SUV that day is really encouraged to call with any information they have. Brian, you know as well as I do, you may not think what you know is important, but it may be crucial.
Yeah, of course. One thing I noticed on the missing poster, I was looking at it earlier, says to call police or tribal authorities. I'm assuming, is that because there's like an Indian reservation nearby?
Yeah, there's reservation lands that are nearby. Whether or not the car was abandoned specifically on one is something that they wouldn't confirm. But OSBI did say that multiple law enforcement agencies are all working on this. So the reservation authorities, as well as local PD and the OSBI, are all kind of working to find these women. But he did all.
2 words that are going to be on today's test. I'll put on the members tab. 2 words I want you to remember. Tribal authority. Okay? That in itself is going to be a problem. I'm not going to get into the politics of, what goes on in Oklahoma. But when I heard the words reservation authority, and then I heard tribal authority this morning on Fox 23 out of Tulsa, I said, well, now we got a problem, don't we? Like good grandma said, they don't get it. No, they don't. They don't get it. Old news daddy, he's about to lose his mind. Pings? There's got to be cameras everywhere. No. See, this is going to be something that Emma's not going to be able to help you with. Old Gray Hughes and his maps, they're not going to be able to thump this one. Sorry.
Also mentioned that the tips have been rolling in as soon as they kind of went public with this missing persons case. And he said in no uncertain terms, they believe these women are in danger right now. So if you know anything, saw anything, think you know anything, call them, call in a tip, get a hold of law enforcement.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly doesn't sound good. Let's hope for a positive outcome. We'll stay on it. All right, Caitlin, thank you so much.
Thanks,
It's good
Brian.
seeing you. Coming up next, the latest WWE bombshell. By the way, there's the
News Daddy don't give a shit. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, there's the tip line. We're going to talk about the WWE now. Yeah. Lisa Wilson gets it. She said, we all have landlines here. You get stuck out there, you're going to walk, and you're going to walk, and you're going to walk, and you're going to walk until you come across a house, and you're going to ask to use their phone. Then Oklahoma Highway Patrol or a local sheriff's office is going to come over. Then they're going to take you back to your car. That's what's going to happen. All right, this just came out on News Nation 23 minutes ago. I have not seen it, but it's supposed to be the latest and greatest. So let's see, and fingers crossed. Let's pray Jennifer Coffindaffer is not in it.
FBI Special Agent and News Nation Law and Justice contributor Jennifer Coffindaffer. Not a lot of information in this case, but a whole lot of attention being paid to it by the media, and it's now caught national media attention. What stands out to you about what little we are hearing from police at this point?
Well, I think we're hearing little, but in a sense, Marnie, we're sort of hearing a lot. When you hear the word suspicious, when you see that schools are being shut down.
God damn it. See, this is what happens when I put something up and I haven't watched it before. Where's Kat? Kat, can you grab the link? Because I've got some profound shit I need to comb through here. Definitely suspicious. They have the schools on lockdown. Yeah, they do. The school's about 10 miles away from where the car was abandoned. What time is it? It's 10:09 a.m. Screw it. I'm getting the box wine. I can't do this. I'm telling you, Kat. You know, she was just Idiot of the Week yesterday. She's never gotten it twice in 1 week. Damn. I love the word ruralness. Ruralness. Oh my God.
Hearing little, but in a sense, Marnie, we're sort of hearing a lot. When you hear the words.
All right. We have a big treat backstage, everyone. Our friend Kat is backstage. She's going to help me get through this profound information.
Hi, Brooks. Oh, I can't hear anything. Can you guys hear me?
I tell all of our friends a secret.
Oh, hello.
Okay. Yep, I'm
Can
back.
you not hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. If I got an echo, because I came straight in through YouTube and I can't seem to close it in the background.
No, you're fine. You don't have an echo or anything.
Cool.
But to let our friends know, the last time I had any conversation with Jennifer Coffindaffer, she was in the drive-thru at the Whataburger outside of Dallas. All right. and said, when I get out of the line at Whataburger, I'll call you right back. This is important. That was in July of 2022. Now, I don't see a freaking hamburger in her hands, Kat.
she's still keeping you waiting, right? What
That's
a
okay.
burger.
That's okay. So let's.
You should have called our YouTube channel What a Burger. I would have believed in that more.
I know she talks about YouTubers, and what does she do? She starts her own YouTube channel.
Yeah. Huh.
Here's a small taste of what you will be getting on her channel if you decide to subscribe to it.
Police at this point.
Well, I think we're hearing little, but in a sense, Marnie, we're sort of hearing a lot. When you hear the words suspicious.
Okay, that was my first clue. When the OSBI said this is definitely foul play and suspicious, I was all in. What do you?
I mean, just in case, you really needed it reiterated, here comes the cough to tell you exactly that it could be suspicious, Brooks. What do you think? A little bit.
Well, they're not saying much, but they're telling us a lot because we're hearing words like suspicious. A bloody hammer. Their personal belongings are still in the car. They're in ruralness, Oklahoma. Smashed out windows, a crazy custody battle going on. Preacher's wife taking home there, Veronica, for protection. I couldn't write it better myself, but thanks.
Here comes Captain Obvious.
That schools are being shut down and then other precautions are taken. I think they're certainly worried that there might be somebody that has caused these women harm. Also, Marnie, a huge obstacle for law enforcement is the ruralness. You saw those photos there. I grew up in Kansas. We always teased that the national tree was the telephone pole. There is nothing there, and that's going to really limit the capabilities of digital analysis of their cell phones.
Wow, she just made a joke. She made a joke.
I'm going to give that to her, okay? I'm going to give that to her.
What, the joke?
Oh, yeah. Because telephone poles are, it's not something that you see. You don't see them. People use cell phones. So I'm going to give that to her. At least she's educating them a little bit. You're not going to have any digital evidence. Okay, so slow clap for Jake.
Slow clap for real. I was like, but tish. She's here all night, folks.
You know, in missing cases, we tend to go immediately to family and friends. And in the days following a disappearance, they want to talk, right? They want to say, this is my person. Here's what they look like. Share as much information as possible in the hopes of bringing them home. In this case, we're hitting a brick wall where police are now telling family and friends, don't talk to the media. Why might that be?
I think that might be
because you don't want News Daddy in your driveway unless you're.
Well, you certainly don't want break your face in your face, do you?
You don't want Jacob
rocking up at your front door. I mean, to be fair, from everything you said, if this actually was Jacob and she had to walk through the Oklahoma panhandle and then come knock on my door to use my telephone, I possibly wouldn't even open my door, to be fair. I'd be like, you found your way here. I'm sure you can find your way to the nearest town on your jog.
Well, and God be with News Daddy, JLR, or any of them that think they're going to show up out there and pester any of these people, because you're going to be met with something that can kill a hog. And that came straight from me.
Uh-huh. And I was saying earlier, if you wrote a TripAdvisor or a Yelp review, I ain't questioning that shit. I'm going to believe you 100%. You're very convincing.
I couldn't be more damn serious. Lisa Wilson, are you going to be going out there to check anything out? If you are, hit me up on Facebook. I'm not by any means going with you. I don't do that. But I just want to know. We need to know where we're at if anybody goes to check this out.
because they don't want widespread speculation and accusations being launched as they're in the midst of this investigation. Marnie, it's
Whoa.
very concerning, though, that this area would be a very unique area for some sort of random strike. In other words, if these ladies were harmed in any way, it is likely going to be someone that they know and are familiar with.
So Oklahoma State Bureau of
Did she just say she didn't want widespread accusations and wild theories being thrown around out of her own mouth?
She did, and I don't mean to call cases, but this is very important. She spearheaded a campaign against Brandy Neal.
For real?
For
she real?
Fangirl over on Twitter with a few idiots and spearheaded a smear campaign against the parents of an abducted child.
Uh-huh.
This is a lot.
She just came right out of the gate yesterday with Sebastian's case saying that Seth was involved and that this is on all three parents and all of this kind of stuff. And she doesn't want wild accusations thrown around. Come on.
She did. She did for sure say that. Matter of fact, here it is. I'm going to put it up on the screen right now in case anybody missed yesterday's show. This is a different case. This is Jacoff. She said, as I mentioned, it will all come out. All these parents hurt Sebastian Rogers. Why haven't I posted them? Because the main point is Sebastian had no one to run to. No, not even his bio dad.
Mm-hmm. Bring your wild theories and your speculation.
Yep.
Cough. Come on.
And she, for whatever reason, wants to ignore the evidence in Michael's abduction.
Yep.
The FBI intel, Cold Case Foundation intel, the fact that he was buried in the Wanderers' backyard at one time. She's not going to stop on Brandy and Tyler. Well, she's given up on that because she's moved on to other things.
Oh, she's given up on that because it's not bringing her any clout.
It's not helping her, is it?
It's not bringing her any clout. That's why.
You're exactly right.
In any way, it is likely going to be someone that they know and are familiar with.
So Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation appears to be the leading agency on this, but we are dealing with a state line near where the car was found. So you've got multiple agencies involved. How does that coordination work in an investigation like this, Jennifer?
Well, wherever that vehicle has been found, that's going to be where venue is established as opposed to where they lived. So they're looking for where that crime, if there is a crime here, was committed. And judging from where the vehicle was found, that is why venue has been established with Oklahoma at this point.
Well, no shit, because the car was found in Oklahoma.
Another slow clap.
Slow clap. How do we do a slow clap, Kat?
Yeah, like this. Slower than that.
Hey. I'm clapping like I'm at a Huey Lewis in the News concert. Okay.
That's the one.
That's why the venue is in Oklahoma. That's where the car was found with rumored to be a hammer with a red substance on it, busted out windows and their belongings in it, but the two passengers are gone. That's why the venue is there.
What would you be looking into right now with evidence? I mean, the car has to be the most critical clue at this point.
The car is critical. You're looking there for any DNA that would not be of these women or of the people associated with that car. Obviously, I still would be looking at any digital analysis. I also want to see text messaging. Who knew they were making this trip between Kansas and Oklahoma that possibly could have targeted them? What's the relationship in terms of this custody battle?
It wasn't Texas to Oklahoma. It's Kansas to Oklahoma. They left Houston, Kansas, to go into the panhandle of Oklahoma outside of Guymon, Eva, Oklahoma. Not Texas. It's Texas County. That doesn't it's the state of Texas.
Obviously, she wasn't watching your show, was she? Because you just literally showed us the map. that explained all of that for the English people over the pond that don't have a clue where anything is in America. Even I knew that. Come on, Jacob, get with the program.
If you grew up in Kansas, then you know the counties.
Yeah, I've never been to Kansas. I don't even know where it is. But I looked at your map very, very, very in detail earlier. And if she doesn't know, then there's no hope for me, right? Just watch Brooks's show, Jacob. You'll get all the geography information you ever needed. Because facts matter, in case you didn't notice.
We're going to, they do, especially the state.
Ex-FBI looking ass.
Especially the state. Let's take a second and tell our friend Angel P. Thank you so much for making it rain. Thank you so much, Angel P, for supporting the channel. CJK, thank you. It was 33 miles from Hugoton, Kansas to Elkhart, Oklahoma. Not far. Was someone on the children's father's side waiting for them? I can't imagine there's a lot of traffic on that highway. Boom, you're exactly right. There's not a lot of traffic on that highway. Somebody was waiting on them. They know what highway they would have to take to go from Hugoton into the panhandle of Oklahoma. I would not be surprised if there weren't, kind of like Bardstown, kind of like Pikeston, if there weren't several people waiting, because there were rumors that Veronica said that she was going to take her kids back with her and not return them. And I apologize, it's not Elkhart, Oklahoma, it's Elkhart, Kansas. But we're getting confused with the states. It's okay.
So she must have gone this way before, I assume.
Oh, sure.
She knew where she was going. It wasn't like she'd never been in the area before. She didn't know where she was headed to. She's obviously driven that way before to see her kids, right? So this wasn't like if I was driving that way and not having a clue where I'm going or the area or not knowing there was any phone signal or not having enough gas. That wouldn't be like that. She would know.
No, and they were aware of the pickup site. They knew where they were going to exchange the kids.
Yeah.
But it was only Veronica and Jillian that didn't make it.
Whenever I hear custody battle and see a mother go missing in this way, that is the number one action point I would begin at.
Do you expect that police will change their strategy and offer an update to the media depending on how much more time passes? I mean, we're now...
Marnie, don't ask her. No, really, ask me and Kat. Come on.
For real.
You can ask anybody. Don't ask her. Ask OJ. Don't ask her.
Several days into this search.
I do expect that, Marnie. I think it's very important for transparency in this situation because the people that live in this area are likely very concerned. Is there somebody out there capable of causing harm to these two women? Are they capable of causing harm to others? So I think it's very important that law enforcement does give updates.
Thank you for watching. Go to News Nation.
No, I'm sure they'll take that on board, Jennifer.
Well, I'm so glad that she weighed in. Like I said, this is what happens when I play a clip and I haven't gone through it myself. So my apologies. You guys can spank me and put me in the corner later. So, Kat, what are you thinking? Because this is not going to be the last we hear of this case. Because I'm going to stay on it like a tick on a dog's ass.
No, I get it. And I think that's fair enough. I'm wondering though about right back at the beginning of the show, didn't they say they locked a school down because they weren't sure about what was happening? So how far away would the school have been from where the car was found?
About 10 miles.
Oh, okay. So still rural, but more populated because obviously if it's a school, then it must have people, right? There must have been. Yeah.
Lisa said this is where they were headed, the junction of US 64, Highway 412, State Highway 3, and then the 95 exchange. So middle of nowhere.
I mean, why would you drive? Is that where
For me,
the
if I'm
kids were?
going to go to the Panhandle on vacation, tongue in cheek, I'm going to take 412 directly out of there. I'm going to drive up to Tulsa, which is about, 10 minutes maybe. And if this custody battle involves the Indian nation, and I'm not picking on the Indians, don't even come for me on that. Miss me. There could have been at the Four Corners many people waiting on Veronica, because we have read, and I only read part of it, what has been going on in this custody dispute. And there has been some real nasty stuff between Veronica and Wrangler the Dangler. And so you get someone that pissed off.
Yeah, and they're going to get everyone they know to come with them, right?
It could have been to scare them away and things went wrong. I don't know. I don't exactly bring a hammer to a knife fight, but that's just me. Wow.
So where they were going to pick up the children or see the children, is that where he or the grandmother, whoever had the children at the time, lives? Or was it a drop-off point somewhere kind of neutral, away from his house, away from her house? Like, why would you take your kids to the middle of nowhere to drop them off anyway?
My understanding is the grandma, Ma Barker, didn't want Veronica anywhere around her house, didn't want her on the farm or anything.
See, that's sketchy to me. Because even if you said, well, you can pick your kids up or you can see your kids, but you're only going to come to the end of my driveway and not on my property.
But look at the history, because they said Veronica, when she would go for children exchanges, she would bring the authorities. She didn't want her showing up with a bunch of cops and everything, so she didn't want her on her property. That actually makes sense to me.
Yeah, no, I get that, but agreeing to go pick your kids up literally in the middle of nowhere, when it's nowhere near where they live and it's nowhere near where you live, that seems like walking into the lion's den to me. That seems like take them to a coffee shop or a petrol station or somewhere like, more populated than the random middle of nowhere to go pick your kids up. It doesn't seem like a normal way of dropping your kids for an exchange sort of thing, does it? I don't know. To me, it doesn't, but I don't live there, so I don't know. Don't bite me. Sorry, Chips, being naughty. I don't know. I wouldn't go pick up my kids in the middle of nowhere. I'd be like, no, drop them somewhere where it's more accessible, or like, I'll meet you somewhere where there's actually people and I'm not going to have the chance of getting murdered in the middle of a highway. Like, and I appreciate there's not much around there, but there must be some kind of signs of life within 10 miles of his house or 10 miles of her house that they could have swapped the kids at or seen the kids at if she wasn't allowed to have them on her own. I'm not saying she's at fault or she's to blame for that. I'm just saying it seems like if you're going to set someone up for this kind of thing, then in the middle of nowhere and on reservation, for example, territory, I don't know if that was the case or not, seems like an almost perfect plan, doesn't it?
100%. And here we only speculate about innocent people like Seth Rogers, Brandy Neal, and Tyler Vaughn. That's all Jennifer Coffindaffer allows.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to happen here, but I'm going to keep on it. I'm going to send Kat all these documents from their divorce because
thanks.
Oh yeah, you're going to love this. I'm going to send them to Angel, Aggie, Slim. You guys, you got 27 pages.
That's some good bedtime reading right there. As long as it's not rated by Jennifer Coffindaffer, I think I'll do okay.
True Crime Beat. I'm going to send this out to you guys because I was going cross-eyed reading it this morning.
And is it his documents from his side?
Both of them.
Okay.
It went all the way to the Oklahoma Supreme Court.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I will say this about, Wrangler Cole and his family. they know law enforcement there.
Right.
So, and I don't know too much about the reservation, the tribal council, the tribal authorities, but the FBI and OSBI overseeing it, because unlike some states, Tennessee, for example, OSBI can step in and they can take over a case and say, no way, I got this.
Yeah, I heard that they have like jurisdiction, right, over in on tribal land. That's why the FBI was formed in the first place, wasn't it?
The FBI always does because of the McGurton law. If it's something that's happened on an Indian territory, which is pretty much everywhere in the state except for my fucking yard, they're involved. Done, over. OSBI, they will take over. So that's our only saving grace in this case. And I think it's going to unfold a lot faster than Jay Koff thinks it will. But I'm going to go ahead. This has never happened, Kat.
What's happened?
She won Idiot of the Week twice. In
1 week.
Today, she outdid herself. I mean, over yesterday. Well,
That
you
cracks me
guys
up every time.
every time. Twice this week she got it. You know, I think I'm actually going to start using my Twitter again. But I want to say thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you for the shout outs from Preschool Granny, Love One Another, Vicky B, Okie Crime News with Teresa, the gifted memberships, the super sticker from Teresa. I say it all the time. You guys are what keeps the channel afloat. It's not me. And we damn sure know it's not Greg and his welfare StreamYard.
It's OJ.
It's you guys and OJ. But again, we're going to stay on this because there's going to be a lot to unpack. I'm finding name after name after name after name, and we have too many unsavory characters that had every reason to want Veronica gone.
Sounds about right to me so far.
So let's put our heads together and see what we can come up with. So I hope everyone has a great rest of your hump day. Depending on what time my friend Gina gets back, because she had to go drop her truck off, we might be doing a second show today. If not, I'll be back here tomorrow, same place, same time, same great friends. Let's please have a huge round of applause for our amazing friend, Kat. Hit that remind all, hit that notify, whatever bell they give you. Hit the like, share it. Your old buddy Brooks up here needs as much help on this channel as she can get. You guys are the absolute best, and thank you for being here. Like I said, I know there's a lot of stuff going on the YouTube streets. Not a lot of people are talking about these two women, but I'm going to stay on it because I think it's really important, and I think it's damn scary. So you guys have a great rest of your hump day, and I'll see you soon. Love ya.